Welcome to Lake Cumberland Amateur Radio Association. You can find us at LCARA.net, on Facebook, on YouTube, and on Instagram. If you're enjoying the videos we're producing here at LCARA, please help our club out by hitting that subscribe button. Also, give us some feedback on our videos. Click the like button, share with anybody who may find it interesting, and be sure and hit the bell icon to make sure you get notified of the next video release. Well, good morning, folks. This is Chris, KY4CKP. And today we just want to take a few minutes and talk about something that I think is probably at the top of everybody's list when it comes to being into amateur radio, and that is doing chores. Everybody's favorite topic, doing chores. Maintenance. Maintenance. It's a good time of year to talk about this for any clubs or anybody who may maintain a repeater or any other kind of clubhouse or club equipment or anything. Maintenance, and then maintenance is something that we really need to do and be doing. It can be kind of easy to forget or sort of let slide sometimes. It's not always the most fun thing, most fun part of amateur radio, but it is necessary. And as we've been showing, with our YouTube channel being more one of the channels that's a little bit more club oriented, and as we've kind of shown throughout the last year and a half or so, various club activities, and we've shown not only fairly fun and exciting club projects, the emergency communications trailer and different things, but our other series, the big series, the abandoned repeater site, kind of showing how to build up and refurbish a repeater site pretty much from scratch, other than starting with at least a decent tower being installed. But as we see with some of these pictures here that we're rolling in, and this was from a relatively recent workday that we have. Now, not all clubs have organized workdays, and that's fine. Whatever works for any given club is fine. Our club does have two organized workdays per month. They're on Saturdays. One is geared for our primary repeater site. The other one is geared for our secondary repeater site, which is the one that we're refurbishing in the abandoned repeater site series right now, because we had to leave that one for not quite a year, 8 months, 10 months, something like that. But it had needed a lot of maintenance before then as well. And in that series, you can see how much effort it's taking to kind of get that site back into a little nicer shape, and there's still kind of a long way to go. And we'll continue to document that. But even at our primary site, which we've maintained, continuously for a lot of years, and so forth, there's repetitive maintenance that needs to happen. And as you can see again through some of these pictures, we typically go out to these repeater sites. We do site surveys, check the grounds, check the shack, check the tower, at least do some ground level visual checks on things. When we can, get people up on the towers to do maintenance and to do things. And there's always, something to do. As you can see at our primary repeater site here with some of these shots, this site we have grass to mow for our access and around our shack, weeds to trim and to spray weed killer, going out to our guy line sites, inspection of the guy line sites, inspection of the shack. I think we showed a little bit earlier this year. It was time to repaint the shack at our primary site. The building is still in great shape. These type of buildings that we get are well built and last a very long time. But it's time for new paint on the sides and a new rubberized coating on the top. And we got that, maintenance done. It's not always glamorous, but it's really necessary to help maintain this equipment that we can all then take advantage of and help us enjoy the hobby. Here you can see we were doing some visual inspection of the guy lines and double checking. Most of the brown that you see on these galvanized lines and stuff, it actually isn't rust. It's really more of just kind of a patina and stuff. We were looking at these really carefully, and it really isn't classic rust. So all of our lines looked like they were in good shape. They still had a good, decent tension on them, and of course they have those kind of keeper wires put in there, so they can't really back out easily. But this is just the kind of stuff we need to do. We still have other maintenance at both locations we need to do, and of course we're still building out the secondary site, and that series is ongoing, and new videos are coming out um, almost weekly, a couple times a month anyway. We have a lot of tower maintenance. That's one thing we need to do at both locations is we need to do some more tower maintenance. Both locations have been around for over 20 years and more than that, but uh, in amateur radio hands for 20, 25 years, I guess. And as far as tower maintenance, we need to continue bringing down a lot of old unused cabling, um, large and small hardline and different things that just haven't been used in years and we don't have a use for. And it's not even easy to get them off the tower really, but it needs to be done. And some other kinds of coax, LMR 400 and whatever else is up there. Double check, at the main repeater site, I think we showed this in the earlier videos, we replaced our two main antennas. They'd been up there a long time, 10, 12, 15 years, I don't know, whatever it was, 20 years, and worked 70 centimeters and 2 meters, but we knew we were having problems on 2 meters because we could hear it and experience it during our weekly nets and things. And when we got those antennas down, when we got somebody on the tower, KY4BDP Brian, my brother, to visually inspect them, to go all the way up the tower and inspect them, that tower at that site's 100 feet. Yeah, they were in pretty sad shape. It was past it was past time for maintenance on those. So we brought them down and replaced them. I think we're going to be able to refurbish. Maybe we have refurbished one or two of those and eventually get them back into service. But they needed some serious help, and that's just how it is. And so, at this relatively recent trip where we're seeing some of these pictures, this is our main site. We were doing some winterization. Now, there's two times a year that we do, springtime we do summerization, and then late fall, early winter we do winterization. So here, what we're doing is we're taking the air conditioner offline. We're getting out and plugging in the space heater. It's not a real big shack. I think it's 8 foot by 8 foot. Plugging it in, and we're checking the functionality of the space heater and the thermostat that we've got wired in. You can see the wiring that was put in the shack, very similar to what we're showing you in the new repeater shack in the abandoned repeater series. And we just check and make sure everything actually works. And of course, in the spring, when we do the summerization, we put the heater away, we hook up the AC again, make sure the AC still works properly and works with the thermostat, so that with the heater in the winter, I believe we typically have that set to 50 degrees. We don't want it to get too bitterly cold in the shack for the equipment. And then in the summer, we have the AC. I think we have the AC set at like 80 degrees. We don't want to get too hot. So we do these operations twice a year, but we're doing other ongoing maintenance. Again, not every club is going to have organized work days like we do, but if you have informal days occasionally, um, as a club, I highly encourage you, make sure you let your club members know when you're going to have some kind of a maintenance or club project or something going on. Make sure it's well communicated through whatever you use, a club website and weekly nets or whatever it is, so people have an opportunity to show an interest in that and maybe volunteer time. And then as a club member, even if you're maybe not hearing about these kinds of things from the club members or club officers or whatever, inquire, ask and say, hey, do we have any maintenance projects that need to be done or that are coming up, or any cool club projects, anything where I could volunteer some time? Because a lot of times with these activities, yeah, they're not glamorous, but sometimes all we need is a couple extra pairs of hands and some donated labor, a couple 3 hours of time to do these things. Most of it's not particularly hard. It just is a little bit repetitive and needs to be done occasionally, mowing the grass and trimming the weeds and doing visual inspections and that kind of stuff. And with our club, if we don't really feel like a physical visit to the repeater location is needed, on an official workday, we get into other things, at worldwide headquarters and work on other projects. And sometimes we simply just talk about things, the state of the club and state of projects, and are there any other projects we sort of want to get on the books and that kind of stuff. And sometimes that's a good use of your time. So I just thought it was a good time to cover some of this. I mean, we've been kind of showing this stuff, showing the club perspective with our channel, and we'll continue to do that and try to to cover hardware and topics and things for maybe newer hams as well. But this can be kind of an overlooked aspect of things, but it's very important. My brother and I work in the IT field, and we all have had our jobs, and maintenance in anything, whether it's maintaining your house, whatever it is. Uh, it's not always the most fun activities, but if you put in a little bit of effort now and then, stay on top of it, it's generally not going to be too bad. So we'll continue of course, to do these kinds of things and document the different activities that we're getting into. But I just thought this was a good topic because this is that time of year where we've transitioned from pretty much late fall to early winter, and if you operate any locations like this, you've probably either already done this kind of maintenance or you're about to. Or maybe you'll consider starting to do this kind of activity if maybe you've not done it before. Help maintain, your repeater shack access and that kind of stuff. So that's pretty much it. We don't have to make this a big long video or anything. Just I thought it was a topic that would be good to cover this time of year. So we'll wrap it up. This is Chris, KY4CKP, for Lake Cumberland Amateur Radio Association, 73.